Welcome back. Another episode of On the Streets. Those of you that are new to what I do, uh, I'm out here with my artwork, and it attracts people of all different walks of life from around the world. And I try to engage them in conversations. And a lot of what I find out about being out here is that we're closer to the end times than we are anything else. There's a book that David Knight brings up a lot. I've read it. It's called The Fourth Turning. That talks about generational changes. And the fourth turning is the big one where huge catalysts happen within our world that changes the direction of where we are. We're in that. And we're probably in the biggest fourth turning of the 500-year study in that book, and it runs in 80-year cycles, that we have ever been. If you listen to the last video I posted about the guy that was involved with the space programs and how he said that germ warfare would be the next one. Well, this lady I'm speaking to here is involved with IBM's cybersecurity, brings up that cyber warfare. They're probably working hand in hand. I mean, either one of them could go ahead and bring about a catalyst. My take is it's going to be a combination of several things that are going to dramatically and radically upset the world order, as it were. And that's why I keep on harping on the fact that the spiritual end of this, this is a spiritual battle, and it's being fought on a material plane, as we can plainly see. And the conversation with this woman brings up the kind of like the futility of what we have before us, what we're fighting. So I wish I could be more positive or more uplifting, other than to say that, if you get yourself right with God, you might stand a chance. But if you like what I'm doing out here, having these conversations, kind of getting past the propaganda that we hear in the media, going straight to the people to get the word, then, if you're new, subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, subscribe again. And share these videos, because I think it's important for us to know what other people are talking about and thinking. But I can also, on this aspect of it, it is a spiritual battle being fought on a material plane. I need your material help in doing this. I do get contributions out of the street, but it's not enough to sustain what I do. So I do need your help. And in that, if you would, go get my products. My designs, my illustrations are there to spark conversations. That's what draws the people over, as you can see. And so to spread this message, to try, because it's a numbers game, the more people I think it's about saving people. I think it's about saving souls. And the more people we can do to do that, the better, I think. So each one of us can gain a leg up there. So please do support me on this. You can go to my also go to my PayPal account and sign up for regular contributions if you would wish to do that. That's Badass Uncle Sam at 76 gmail.com through PayPal, or Threadless, which is a good store. Other people have purchase links through Threadless have mentioned that the quality of the products is very good. So you can get this sweatshirts and t-shirts and mugs and cell phone covers at the designs, and it helps me out and it spreads the message. So I want to thank you all for very much for supporting me, for tuning in. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing out here, even though a lot of it is pretty disturbing. So God bless you all, and let's get to this clip. Let's get on the streets.
There was a big conference here, IBM conference, so I came for that.
IBM? Mm-hmm. And what do you do for IBM?
Cybersecurity.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I got to speak to the man who does cybersecurity for the White House. He's a professor at Washington University.
Okay.
I know. It's obviously a big concern. I mean, that's got to be one of the...
It is a huge concern.
And most of it's coming out of China?
Yes, and Russia.
Russia too?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I mean, I think that would, yeah, Russia.
It's 2016, they did try to poke it around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but then, they, of course it was, they did that study, what was it, the Facebook ads were the thing they were supposed to...
But what people don't understand is the next big war is going to be cyber war.
Yes. That's what I've been, as I said, that's the big...
Yeah, they can shut the country down. They can totally shut everything. They can freeze everything because every functionality has moved to digital transformation, right? So everything is being done. Hospitals, everything is being done with IT. So if they want, you just have to send something and lock it down and nobody could get to anything.
So what are we doing about it?
That's a good. I know. I was reading all this stuff.
Yeah. What are we doing about
that? I had a meeting. John Brennan. Maybe you don't like him. He came to IBM big conference. I know you don't like him, but he said that it is the most scary time, and we need to get enough people because we in America led the IT world to this stage, transform it to the digital world, but we didn't think about how to secure it. So letting all these Chinese and everybody sit behind and just like attacking it. So now in hindsight, we're trying to figure out like how do we lock it, how we just do something, but they're advanced, they just every time we create something they come better.
Well, then on the other side of it too, because a lot of the technology that we've actually given to China
created, yes, we did create
and now
it.
They're producing a lot of it and sending it back here. And what I understand is they're building backdoors into everything they send us.
Exactly. Simple example: IBM sold the laptop part, right? IBM did this big, huge framework. So those are like mainframe, bank, and everything you can process. And then there are smaller laptop IBM used to produce. So they sold that section of it because they said like, yeah, Dell is making, Microsoft is making, I'm not making too much money. So they sold the laptop making environment to China. So once it became Lenovo. But IBM said that even though you can market with my name, Lenovo start putting stuff in it and bring it to the American market. So by the time they found out, the government was giving IBM hard time because for selling it without even making sure, the back door is not open. So it is very interesting. And when I read all this craziness about politics and everything, and then when I listen to the news, we're not going to have hand-to-hand, rifle with rifle war. That is going to go away. It is going to be the cybersecurity. Right now, the cyber war is coming and coming big time, and most people are not thinking about it. So one of the things in the conference is that we don't have enough workforce. Whether you believe or not, there is 10 jobs right now. Only 3 can be filled with cybersecurity. In 2021, we are going to be short of he said 200,000 people workforce. We're going to be short. So they were telling, and government is right now is providing a free cybersecurity education in the university. So people, if these new kids need to learn cybersecurity, but it requires a little bit dedication. Chinese have patience. Chinese are very calculated.
yeah.
They see for hours.
More
they can
discipline,
do that.
too.
Yep, that's the word I was, missing. This generation is like easy. Everything is fast, easy, get it, But for me, coming from another country,
Yes.
I had that discipline.
Yes.
That's why I became very successful. But the kids, the attention span is so short. I see my nieces and everything now. I see like a family. They just like do everything easy. They want
Yeah.
it so easy, fast.
And they don't think about what they're putting out and putting in.
Yes.
Oh, well, I can sign up for this for free, but when
Yeah.
you give that information, it's going
Exactly.
through the whole network and
Any
somewhere else.
application, any app that you download, you have always to think twice. Who owns it? Who makes it? Did they put a code as soon as I enter? Do they have access to my computer at the back door? But we just keep downloading app, that, and this without even thinking.
Now, shouldn't we, start again manufacturing, getting back to manufacturing our own tech instead of relying on getting it from other places? Wouldn't that be part of the solution?
Yes, we should, but I think we need, at the end of the day, we need to make law, right? Really very good laws, how to govern the whole cyber in IT. Right now, it's a free fall. Anybody can do anything. And then in hindsight, like Facebook, you can bring them to Congress and you grill them. It makes no sense. So you have to have the law and regulation requirement. If they violate that, you just put them,
Well, which brings up this. Companies like Microsoft, like IBM, are so huge now. They are actually running the government rather than, they're dictating more. They're like nations onto themselves and laws unto themselves.
Yes.
No one's holding them accountable. Even thank you.
Yes.
How many times have the heads of Facebook and Twitter been before Congress? Being chastised for, censoring and for, trying to control the narrative.
But then at the same time, you have also to remember the Congress, the people that staying in the Congress needed to have a limited time because that group is totally old. They don't understand it. So the question they were putting for Facebook guy, I was laughing because he can eat their lunch in a day. He was answering very crooked way, chastising him, but he didn't give them nothing.
Yeah.
The questions were, some of the questions were so stupid.
Yeah, not only are they stupid, then all you have to look at, how many of them have been paid off? How many of them are...
That too.
How much corruption is involved in it? But you're right, on the other side, there's a lot of just plain ignorance from a generation that doesn't... I'm guilty of that myself. It took me a couple of weeks to find out how to answer my cell phone. So, and I'm still, but I'm learning how to adapt into it.
But
I didn't grow up in it.
From responsibility point of view, I think they have to put a limit on the people who are serving, so the new generation need to come in and can play all these things together. Because right now there is no limit on serving in Congress, right? There is no. So some of them are old people.
But the problem also in that, when you get new people in, which we do need, they also need to be smart.
They should be. They would understand it.
Excuse me, I'm looking at like the ones that are being championed now, like the Cortez. I'm sorry. She's the new rock star for the left, but to listen to her, she's dumber than a trainload of hammers. So, although she may be the new rising star, we need a smart rising star.
Yes, experienced person. Yeah.
Why don't you run?
I am going to stick to my cybersecurity stuff.
Where are you from originally?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, but grew up in Berlin, Germany.
And how long have you been in the States?
I came here 2002 to study masters in LSU. And 2002 and 2003, I did my master's. In 2004, at the beginning of 2004, when I started my PhD, IBM was recruiting from LSU, and I got interview. I passed. I said, I don't want any PhD. I was hired by them. Here I am, 15 years with IBM.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Are you a citizen now, or
Yes,
you?
I am
Oh,
citizen.
terrific!
Yes.
Wonderful.
I came here as a student, international student, and then IBM processed my papers and everything, and then I had a green card, and then now I became a citizen since 2009.
Wonderful. Man, everything you've said. Now, I spoke to a guy yesterday, and it was about, again, security, but he's working in the aerospace industry with NASA, with the electronic companies. His take was the next war was going to be germ warfare. Bio germ warfare.
Okay.
Because he says, as far as population reduction goes, the nations know that we can't really fight a nuclear war because that's too destructive. But the idea is to reduce the population. To do that, to do that, the only way to do it without destroying the planet is through bioweapons.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's a scary sense, though.
Yes, it is extremely scary.
And of course, the other side is what you're working on, because the whole deal about tech, it's a two-sided sword.
Yes.
Now, yeah, it can help us, but at the same time, people can get, it's a technological tyranny that people can get sucked into.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's a cyber prison.
Actually, they were showing last time a nuclear site. First of all, physically it wasn't secured, so some people did a physical location testing, and they went and they were able to go to a big it was a novice, a program that were showing, like, they were testing, and then they were providing this to the government. It's not secured. Okay, it's not secured. And the second part is you transform all that nuclear sites and everything, you manage them, you control them from one place without thinking how to secure it. Anybody can go in and shut it down and explode
So
it.
you're telling me the nuclear sites are not on their own separate grid? They
can be, yes, but every time, even though you put them in a separate grid, from one location to the other location to be contacted or connected, you have to get on the internet. But within internet, what you can do is it is called VPN, Virtual Private Network. So you go on internet, you establish this tunnel, think about tunnel, and that is their own tunnel, nobody can get in. But sometimes the VPN can be breached now. Then you think that they came in. No matter how much tunnel you establish through this internet, this is like wide open, right? Internet is just wide open to everyone. So instead of sending to everyone, you establish this tunnel. It's only for you, but it can be now penetrated, and people have been successful penetrating it. So it just, no matter you come up with something, there is always someone is like sitting and calculating how to cross it. So it is fascinating. So now the whole week we stayed here from Monday to Friday is they were telling us the breaches, the attacks that were attempting, what IBM did for the customer. So this is one company, IBM, one company. We have multiple customers, and it's all about growing our business, right? So it is the whole point. They invest so much money on this thing, but in a grand scheme of it, if you look at it, it is scary.
Yes.
Yeah, it is really scary. But from IBM point of view, for this customer, we did this. For this, we mitigate this thing. They were attacked by this one. They couldn't reach anything like for the whole week, But it is all customer based, and then we were told now go out and sell security. It's a big business. It is in a business way. IBM is saying it right now. It's like it's making money. Security is making money. So, but while you sit and listen there, you're like, oh my God.
Really?
We are going to be in trouble. I mean, in the bigger picture, if you see it, that's scary.
Now, there's been talk, you always hear rumors and talk, about other internet, in other words, people coming up with a whole new, like a second internet, something outside of what we're using now.
Yes.
Coming up with a new system, an Internet 2, as it were. That would be whole brand new, using a whole nother technology that...
But one thing I learned is, unless you constantly come up with something, there are people who always try to penetrate it, right?
Oh, well,
so the
always,
only thing
yeah.
that you can do is, if it was physical, you have one door and you watch that door like a hawk, and you have the gun and everything. But anything that you throw on this air, like the internet is there is always some people trying to, and somebody one day will be successful.
Yes.
Always. And then you try to come up and do something, and then you patch it, you create, I create this patch, immediately patch it, you patch, then explain another person, we're creating this patch, immediately patch everything, change your password, okay, we do that, but it's a constant fight.
Well, there are those philosophers and people that have said that indeed this thing that we created is a monster that will eventually, because there, like you said, there's no way it'll eventually wind up defeating us because of what you just said. There's always going to be someone that's going to breach it and then bring it down.
Because you don't have full control what is happening.
And if we become too dependent, if we all become dependent on this one thing, which we are now doing, if that does get taken down, it's like what happens when the shells go empty,
Yeah, we are really in an unknown world right now. It's just something crazy. It is fascinating, it's scary, Before everything was paper-based, you control your department. If you want to send a letter, you just write it and you send it to someone. It's just everything was controlled. Right now, it's just like, but a lot of opportunity for these big companies like IBM, Microsoft, is like getting customer information. It's like, for example, I manage one, Sony. You remember Sony?
Oh, sure.
They got hacked last time. You remember that later?
Yes.
And everything was out about Obama.
Well, everything seems to be getting hacked.
So and then they was like going crazy. They hired IBM, and we're patching this with that. It turned out to be like a what was that? 1 billion or 1.5 billion business for us. And then grocery shops. So one of the grocery shops, it got hacked, and they ran coming to IBM like, you need to save us, and we just have to Starwood. You heard recently Starwood. You remember they got it just constant fight, but it is a big business at the same time for this company.
And then you hear about the ransoms, like people, they hack in, they say, all right, we won't release this if you give us this.
Like the UK medical thing, they froze. Nobody could go to a doctor because they went in, they lock it, and they say you cannot get to any medical information of anyone. That they shut the whole system, and people were sick, and they had to pay. They had to pay so that they could lay them. That is another, run something.
What are the best security systems, or are there any good security systems that at least would put
There's no perfect. But at least the company you're hiring depends on how advanced. For example, we, IBM, we monitor 24/7. Like we have this group of people from Costa Rica, from India. They just, first of all, you create this tool software. It monitors constantly, and then anything that passes through that software, there are people who are watching 24/7. And God forbid, if it passes them and everything, then you hear it. So IBM is like the thing. What we discuss is we don't want any customer to be breached on our watch. That is like the big thing, because other customers do that, other vendors do that. That customer will leave, drop the vendor, and running come to us. It's a lot of business. So far, nobody gets hacked under our watch.
Beyond the human aspect, aren't there, though, artificial intelligence algorithm?
IA. So we have that's what we do. But still, sometimes it passes. It gets smarter, constantly smarter. So the human part is secondary, but the primary is artificial intelligence tools. We have that. But sometimes it gets sneaked through it.
Well, even AI, because when you get into the intelligence, now we're talking about AI takes on a life of its own. It can start, there was that one article I remember hearing about where AI started coming up with their own language that we can't understand. And so they had to shut the program down because AI was started talking about, the language we didn't know.
All those things are created by human. Human mind is like limited. There is always in hindsight, oh, I could have done this, you know? That's how you learn. After the fact, you keep learning. So it's interesting times we are in. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It was nice meeting you.
Oh, thank you for your information. It was a very interesting conversation. Thank you. Thank you very
Have a
much.
nice
And
day.
good luck. Keep us safe, will you?
I will do that.
All
Try
right.
my best.
All right.
Okay,
God
bye.
bless.